How's it going, guys? Welcome back. This is another outdoor race. I guess technically it is a training race, but unlike the regular training races that I've done, kind of in the preseason, if you haven't seen any of those, so I normally do GV race in this area called GV30, and I've done a few of them this year. I'll link one up in the upper right somewhere. The last one of the season. But this, anyway. So I thought I'd do something like slightly different for this past week, and it definitely was different. This is the last of the spring training series in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. So it is hosted by the Gotham cyclists, who are around like Allentown, Bethlehem, Lehigh Valley-ish area, I think. And I have to admit, I mean, like, again, I'm still new at the local racing scene, so I don't know a whole lot about about what's going on in the area or anything. But I guess they've been doing these things for a few years now, and they do some during the season as well. But these are there's 3 of them that they do kind of in the spring or in March, so sort of before the main spring summer series starts. And it is it's a little bit different. So it is. I mean, first of all, it's designed to be a training race, I guess. So they're very accommodating to beginners. So there's 3 races. There's an A race, a B race, and then a novice race. This is the B race, so it's a little bit confusing about the setup, but I think this is like seniors cats 1 through 4, so like kind of anybody can do it. And then the A race is like cats 1 through 3, I think. And just no novices in those, because there's a separate novice race. But it is a points race as well, which is something that I've never done before. I've done some Swift points races, but this is completely new to me. So I guess every 5 and I'm still not exactly sure how everything worked, but because I wasn't really like vying for any of the top spots. But I think it's every 5 laps there was a sprint, and you got points for like the top 4 or 5 positions at each sprint. And the course, I mean, that sounds like not a whole lot, but the race was 40 laps. So the course itself is only like half a mile. It's a pretty cool course, actually. So it's just basically like kind of like an oval. So not a whole lot of tight turns. You don't have to hit the brakes a little bit, but nothing extreme. No like 90-degree corners, anything like that. It's like real smooth, no traffic. It's like closed off to traffic. It's just like around this park. So really it was great. But it's this tiny little half-mile oval. So you'll see later there's quite a lot of like lapping going on and everything, especially with the sprints every 5 laps. So like I had 0 expectations and no idea what to expect. But it's just something different, good workout, something different, and a little experience. So a little different than GV, definitely. But it was fun. So there's I don't know, maybe 20-ish people in this B race, and you'll see the red and white jerseys. There's a few of them on the front now. That is the Gotham cyclist team, I think. So they had 6 people in it, maybe. It seemed like there were a lot of them, and they definitely controlled the race. And they knew what they're doing. Obviously, they hosted. They are experienced. They had this down. And yeah, they definitely kind of like worked us over. So you'll see the lap counter as we go by that finish line, and like I still, I guess the strategy is to like kind of if you get in a breakaway, like you soak up those points, things like that. So maybe it's like you just want to like try to attack and jump in a break. I guess is yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a little hard for me to figure out, and it got kind of confusing as we went along. But so this is probably my first mistake here. So I think we're on lap 37. I think maybe 38, 37, 38 or 37 as we're counting down. So it's like lap 2 or 3, and I take the front. But it was really, really bad time to take the front. So we'll see the lap counter. So it's 37. So there's, I guess one more full lap, and then it's like a sprint lap. So so I take the front here, and I put in a pretty good effort, I think, and it kind of wears me out a bit. The problem is, and I think I was thinking about this at the time, but the problem is that like the lap after I'm on the front putting in my effort is a sprint lap. So I really wasn't I really didn't want to be here where I am, which was okay. Like I said, I'm not really going to be like vying for the sprint points or anything like that, but it's definitely a miscalculation on my part. So we come around this corner, and you'll see the lap counter says 36, and I kind of pull off here, and I do have a little bit of trouble getting back in. I think the smaller course with the like wide turns and things make it pretty fast. But yeah, I mean, so like now we have a minute before the next sprint, and I'm like gassed from my effort, which was a bit of a bummer. But anyway, so let's see what happens on the first sprint. I'm trying to remember what goes on the first sprint. So we are all together, I believe, for this first sprint, and like I said, I'm pretty gassed. So I'm not thinking that I'm going to be doing any sprinting here. I'm just sort of trying to figure out this whole format, and it could have been this time through. No. So I'm still trying to like figure out this. Oh yeah, so it was that time through. So my idea there was to maybe try to go for the sprint, and like go wide on that corner and go out the outside, but I ended up just misjudging the corner by a lot. It was bad. It's not my proudest moment. So I actually had to pull the brakes and scrub a whole bunch of speed, so there was no way I was doing any sprinting there. But so you'll see now. So one guy is kind of up the road, like just a tad. You'll see him in those white buildings up there, and I'm guessing that he's the one that won that first sprint point. And we do catch him, but this is where I think the team tactics here of the red and white team make a huge difference. So they end up I don't know if they I'm sure that they planned this. I mean, they definitely seem to be experienced, and I mean they should. I'm not exactly sure how this race series kind of started or took off, but it seemed a bit like maybe they were just kind of out practicing riding years ago and thought, hey, let's make this an actual race. So you see the two teammates take off from in front of me to try to presumably catch the rider that was up the road from that sprint. So we're making it nice and fast again. They do end up bringing that rider back, I believe, but as they do that, they're still attacking. So there's a few of them up there. So they end up working the field pretty hard. So you see there's 3-4 of them maybe on the front now, and yeah, I mean they make it fast and also make it pretty difficult to put in any kind of other moves, which is great. Yeah, I mean, great for them. That's it's perfect tactics for them. So they're sitting on the front and just marking things and then constantly attacking. So yeah, I mean, I'm like kind of already tired, and it was really cold. I really misjudged really misjudged what I needed to wear for this race. It was very cold. I didn't expect it to be that cold, unfortunately. So I was not prepared. So I started off very, very cold, and it took me a long time to warm up. But I mean, all these things being said, like it was cool. Like it's a cool, different format for me. I've never done anything like this, like I said, and it was fast. Like it's a good workout. So you still see, I mean, there's a couple of them on the front, along with a bunch of others in their wheels. So yeah, I mean they're playing their tactics pretty well. I think there's probably 2 more laps before another sprint, and I think I kind of make the same mistake again. So let's see. So I do follow. So the blue jersey right in front of me, I end up following his wheel. So we'll see if this is where I make my other mistake. So yeah, I mean, so like obviously now the field is like really slowing down, and I probably would have done well to like sit here towards the back, and just catch my breath a little bit, to prepare for another sprint, because what are we on, 32 laps, so yeah, we got 2 more laps to go, but instead of sitting on another little attack there, I guess he's marking that, yeah, so instead of like sitting on the back wheels, I think I actually do end up kind of out here in the wind for some odd reason. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? I'm way out here. I don't know what I'm doing. It should be right up there on my teammate's wheel. So in the orange and black jersey right in front of me, that's my teammate Robbie on our Watson Whiskey team, and then I have another teammate Josh who's also in this race. And this is the first of this series that any of us had done, so weren't quite sure what to expect. But yeah, so yeah, I guess I'm in an okay position. So 32. So we got 31 coming up. So this will be the end of this upcoming lap. Will be another sprint. We'll kind of see what happens. So at one point there is a breakaway that gets away. So there's like 1 or 2 guys a little up the road from here. It ends up being a break of I think 4 total. So yeah, I mean they end up like mopping up a lot of the sprint points. So there's two up the road, and yeah, I mean so the teammates of the red and white teammates aren't really doing much work to bring them back because they have a guy at the break. But as soon as like those 2 get back into the peloton, I think they end up kind of attacking again. So this is another sprint lap. So obviously the speed is going to ramp up. And I think this is probably the sprint where there's a breakaway that gets away. The other thing is that with the smaller oval lap here, it was hard for me anyway to like figure out when I should be like ramping up for a sprint. I didn't ever really vie for a sprint, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I didn't really know when to do anything like that. But like I said, like all just learning experience. It was it was fun. something different, and yeah, kind of good to mix it up a little bit. And yeah, I mean, it was 40 laps, so like 20 miles. It was, what, 45 minutes or so, something like that. And I don't even know if I played. I mean, we end up getting lapped probably a couple times from the break. Oh, so there, you see those two teammates on the right, just like absolutely send it. I guess there's one other guy who took off, and they absolutely just go bonkers catching up him. Could be a sprint lap, maybe that's why they're doing it. But I'm like, yeah, I can't chase anything like that down. So I'm kind of used up all of my matches at the moment. So that was that right there was the move. So there's 4 guys up there total. Looks like 3 teammates and then one other guy, and they ride away. So they will soak up all of the sprint points per lap, I guess. I guess that's how it works. So it's not like a field sprint each lap anymore. It's they're just mopping up the points. And then obviously the teammates that are left here in the peloton aren't going to do any work to bring that back because they have a few guys up there. So yeah, I mean, like they played it perfect, which is good for them. And it gives our me and then the 2 other teammates that were in the race for me had some experience and everything like that. So, and good workout. This is about a week before our first I'd say more official, but like the first crit race that we're kind of looking forward to in the season, sort of the official start of the season, I would say. So I'll go ahead and let this play the rest of the way just because it's here. I guess there's no reason not to. And nothing too exciting, I don't think, from now on. But it gets a bit confusing. It gets a bit confusing for me, like being in the race, figuring out like who's on what lap and everything, because I think there's like another like second break or something that gets away, and then they end up lapping me, and then I like latch on for a bit. So I mean, you can watch, that's fine. But I think I'm done chatting about it, just because it all gets a bit confusing, and it probably doesn't factor into any like results or anything like that, obviously, because I'm not in the top 4 or 5 every 5 laps. But it was fun, and yeah, cool little course. So it's something to probably remember for next year. I think they might do something during the year too, but something to remember for next year. And it's a good sort of primer for the season. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.